Hi everyone. Today we're going to read our second book about the ocean. And this book is about sea turtles. Now, I really love sea turtles. I think they're super interesting, especially the way that they lay their babies. They bury a lot of eggs in the sand, and then the eggs hatch and the babies crawl all the way down to the ocean to get into the water. If you want to look on Seesaw, you'll see that Tay wrote a little something about sea turtles last week, and you can see what he wrote. So today we're going to read a book called On Kiki's Reef. It's by Carol L. Malnor, and it's illustrated by Trina L. Hunter. This book is a fiction book about a sea turtle named Kiki. But what's interesting about this book is that we're still going to learn some facts about sea turtles, even though it's fiction. It's a fiction story telling us about a character named Kiki, but the information in the story about sea turtles is real. And a little bit later this week, we're going to read some nonfiction books, one nonfiction book about sea turtles, and we'll learn even more about them. I hope you'll enjoy that. So this story is called On Kiki's Reef. While I'm reading, I want you to think about what facts are you learning about sea turtles and other creatures that live in the ocean. A baby green sea turtle pops her head out of the sand. It's Kiki. She just hatched from her egg buried deep below. Kiki scrambles across the beach with her brothers and sisters. Birds try to peck them. Crabs try to grab them. Some never make it to the water. Kiki does. So this is true information. When sea turtles hatch out of their eggs, they have to crawl all the way from their nest to the water by themselves without getting caught or killed by any predators like a crab or getting stepped on by a person. There she is. Surf and spray carry Kiki away. She paddles wildly. The wide open ocean is a big place for a little turtle. She searches for food and hides from big fish that would swallow her in one bite. Kiki is smart and brave. This book has some little extra writing on some of the pages that looks to me like a little poem. Kiki paddles helter-skelter. Beds of seaweed give her shelter. After surviving in the open ocean for 6 birthdays, just like some of you guys, she's 6 years old. Kiki is larger. Her shell is brighter. Her flippers are stronger. She's big enough to search for a new home closer to shore. Colors and shapes swirl beneath her in the shallow water. In the water down below, a rainbow of corals puts on a show. It's a coral reef. Corals look like plants, but they're not. They're animals. Look at that picture. That's coral. You might have seen pictures of that before, or you might have seen it actually in real life. And it's hard. It's almost like a rock, and it really looks like a plant. But the book is telling us actually coral is an animal. But they're not like any animals Kiki has seen before. Some look like fans. Others look like tubes. One coral looks like a brain. Year after year, their hard skeletons build up to make a giant reef, a magical underwater island. Kiki explores. So right there, we just learned something about the ocean, right? About coral in the ocean. What did you learn? You can tell somebody if they're watching with you, or you can tell me. Kiki's birthdays come and go. Kiki's body grows and grows. All the while she watches the unusual creatures living on the reef. She sees fish of all sizes and lots of surprises. Zig-zag, dash in, dart out. A clownfish snuggles into the dangerous tentacles of an anemone. Let's say that word together. Anemone. It's hard to see in this picture, but an anemone is something that looks like this. It has lots of little tentacles coming out. It's like a little creature. Will it get hurt? No. The clownfish wears a slimy coat to protect it from the anemone's painful stings. Every clownfish has its own anemone, and these two are perfect partners. Does that clownfish look like someone you know? It looks a little bit like Nemo, right? In and out and all around, lots of teamwork can be found. Kiki discovers some partners for herself, a gang of tangs. Look at the picture. What do you think a tang is? I think so too. I think it's a little fish. The tangs get a free lunch by eating the algae growing on Kiki's shell. See how they're up close to her shell eating the algae on her? And with a clean, smooth shell, Kiki glides through the water with ease. Nearby, wrasses are expert cleaners too. Kiki watches them do a wiggly dance that announces, "Our cleaning station is open." I don't know what a wrasse is. Let's look at this picture and see if we can figure out what it is. Which ones do you think are the wrasses? A grouper swims up to be their first customer. So this guy is the grouper. And these little blue guys must be the wrasses, and they're inside his mouth cleaning his teeth. When a grouper opens wide, then a wrasse can clean inside. Not all open mouths on the reef are friendly. Who do you know in the ocean who might not be so friendly? The razor-sharp teeth of a giant barracuda are deadly for many reef fish. Kiki isn't afraid. She's too big for a barracuda. This blue one is the barracuda. But she's not too big for an approaching tiger shark. Uh-oh. Kiki knows so very well a shark's strong jaws can crack her shell. Kiki makes a quick getaway through the seagrass. When the shark is gone, she'll return to the reef. Meanwhile, a seahorse uses a different strategy to stay safe from predators. Camouflage. Can you see the seahorse in there? We can see him, but he's pretty well hidden, right? Because his scales are the same color as the grasses. Did you know that daddy seahorses are the ones that carry the babies around in their tummies? They're one of the only animals in the world that it's the daddy, not the mommy, who carries the baby. The hidden seahorse takes first prize for wearing the best underwater disguise. That's his camouflage. Back at home on the reef, Kiki hears crunch, crunch, crunch. It's the sound of the sharp teeth of a parrotfish scraping the hard coral for food. That must be the parrotfish, and he's eating the coral. Every bite of reef it scoops turn to sand when it poops. When the fish poops, sand comes out. That's interesting. Ooh, who do you see in this picture? That's right, it's an octopus. While Kiki snoozes, nighttime creatures slither and crawl from their hiding places. A hungry octopus hunts for its dinner. Who will it be? What do octopuses like to eat? A shrimp or snail or maybe a crab, whatever 8 long arms can grab. Kiki's happily at home on her coral reef. She knows all of the plants and animals, and they all know her and her gentle ways. When a stranger arrives, curious Kiki swims over to investigate. There's Kiki and her friends. And who's the stranger who just arrived? Do you think that's a scientist studying the ocean? A diver visits this magical place and meets a turtle face to face. Then, one day, Kiki feels different inside. Somehow she knows it's time to return to her first home, the beach. What do you think she's going to do when she gets to the beach? If you have an idea, tell someone who's watching with you. She takes off on a journey of hundreds of miles. Along the way, a fishing boat pulls a net through the water. Kiki can't get out of the way in time. She gets caught. Oh no, she's caught in the net. Escaping through the net's trap door. Oh, lucky Kiki swims towards shore. She got out. In the middle of the night, Kiki hauls her heavy body across the same beach where she was born. Using her back flippers like a shovel, she digs a deep nest and lays 100 eggs. Look how hard she's working, digging her hole and laying her eggs. They'll hatch into baby green sea turtles, just like she did so many years ago. Carefully covering the eggs, Kiki's work is done. She drags herself back into the sea and silently swims away into the moonlight. Along the coast and through the foam, Kiki returns to her reef home. That's the end of the story part of this. You can see in the back of this book, you were able to look at it closely. It shows you all the different creatures that we read about. The sea turtles, the babies and the adults, the coral. What were those funny fish called that were helping to clean her back? There's the clownfish, there's the wrasses, the barracuda, and a shark, and a seahorse, and a parrotfish, and an octopus. Lots of interesting information about different sea creatures. Tell somebody something that you learned from reading this book. Remember, even though it's a fiction book, we might have learned something new. Think about something that you learned when we read this book today. I learned about an animal called a wrasse, which I never heard of before, which helps to clean out the teeth of another fish. Let me find that picture so I can show you. A grouper who needs help cleaning his teeth. Instead of going to the dentist, he goes to see these little blue wrasses who clean out his teeth for him. That was something I never knew before. All right, so that was the story of Kiki's Reef. So today, down in our description, you can find a link to our new Project Commotion videos, and we're going to have some new videos from Project Commotion every week. So check those ones out, and you can do some movement with your family, and you can also keep doing Coach Ariel's PE video this week if you'd like to. Your assignment on Seesaw today is something brand new. So today I put an assignment on Seesaw for you that's about phonics. Phonics is about spelling and words. So this assignment is about silent E. When we add a silent E to the end of the word, it changes the way that a vowel sounds. So when you go to Seesaw today, you're going to see some words with a short vowel sound and a long vowel sound. And you actually get to practice moving the words around to make two groups, just like we used to practice in class. You're going to sort the words into two groups. So go to Seesaw, listen to the directions, try moving the words around, record yourself talking about what you noticed, and then don't forget to click the green check so that I can see your work. All right, friends, I'll see you tomorrow when we get to learn some new things about math. See you then.